Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. And welcome to a special edition. It has been suggested by a very smart young lady that we kind of showcase, if you will, or at least introduce some of our air talent to our audience. And so we're on Facebook Live, and so we're honored to have in studio our B.92 Country Morning show host, Tex Carter. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
All right. And then we're going to post this to the B92 Facebook page, so hopefully people will say nice things about you. Anyway, we're pleased that you're hosting B92, and give us a little quick history. I know we could talk about the old days of radio forever, but give us a little of your background. You make it to Carrollton, and
I tell you, I feel like I was blessed to do this. When a friend of mine, sometime during the last year, who I graduated with, reminded me that I did a report in a speech class in 9th grade on radio broadcasting.
What year was that?
I don't know. 72, 71, 72.
Sure.
And I knew early on that I wanted to be in radio. I was one of those guys when I was a young 6, 7, 8-year-old kid who would get home from school and get on the telephone and bug the DJs about songs I wanted to hear.
So your whole career has been radio.
My whole career. I've done a few things here and there in between radio jobs, but I've done 45, 46 years of radio and love it.
Yeah.
I got into it because I loved music.
But
I have learned to love the business. I've learned to love.
Why is that?
I learned to love being around people, helping businesses grow their business. It's, again, to start with, I just loved music. I liked the entertainment portion of it.
Sure.
But I really became aware of later, after I got through my youth. When you first get into this business, you think you know everything. You really don't know anything. But you're still learning. I was absorbing stuff as I went from various people that I listened to on the radio. And, I thought that just being around the music was all I wanted. But then you got to know the business of it. You got to know how you're actually helping clients build their businesses and also helping people get through different situations in life by being there for them, to talk to them, playing their favorite song because they were going to get married or they were going through a funeral for a friend or something. And music is so powerful. I'll share one quick story that I remember. When I was dating my wife, Zana, we went to a concert. This was very early in Clint Black's career. He had one album out, and he was opening for Lori Morgan and then Merle Haggard in Birmingham. I took her to this concert. Clint had 2 hits out, Killing Time and
Desperado?
And Better Man.
Better Man.
Killing Time and Better Man was his 2 big hits that had already been out, had this brand new album out. But he had to put on like 30 minutes of music. So when he sings Better Man, the crowd just stands up. They're singing, they're screaming, they're hollering. He sings Killing Time, same thing. Then he goes to these album cuts that nobody's ever heard of. It's like crickets.
Yeah.
I reached over to Zan and I said, "That's the power of radio."
Yeah. You said music is so powerful. I've never had anybody say that they don't like music. And, you can, I don't know anybody that doesn't like music, no matter what genre or what type or whatever.
Yeah, there are certain types I don't like.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody in some form or fashion does like some type of music. And the thing that, as I've gotten older, that we find out more and more is, as you get older, you start paying attention to the guys that make it to like 90 or 100 or whatever. And one, I don't know if you've met yet, Harold Shedd.
Oh, I haven't read it, but I know of him.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna get him on the B92 Morning Show. But I think he's 93 now. And I asked him, what's the secret to making it to 93 and being relatively good health, which he is.
That is good.
And he said basically music, just music. I mean, it really is powerful, and people don't understand, I don't think, how impacted they are. I was reading the other day about classical music, and if you'll listen to a good selection, an hour or so of classical music, you'll sleep like a baby, and so I think that's important. Before we go to our first break, I'm assuming your mama didn't name you Tex.
No. My first name is John, Jon, no H. Middle name's Michael, and last name's Carter. Of course, that is real, the Carter part. But I went by Mike all my life, and I was Mike Carter in radio for a number of years. I went to Huntsville, Alabama, and worked for a gentleman named Bill Donovan.
Who we've all heard of.
And Bill named me Tex, basically. The whole story is this. We went through a ton of names. We were working with the Rusty Walker Consultant Agency at that time. And they went through a bunch of names, and it came down to Tex and Hoss. Ugh. And there was a Hoss legend on WSIX in Nashville, which was just north of Huntsville, and our signal sort of crossed in between in Tennessee. I said, there's no way I can be Hoss with Hoss Burns still on WSIX, so I guess I'm Tex.
You've been pretty happy with the name ever since.
It went great. I will tell you this. When I left Huntsville and moved to Birmingham, I was on a country station in Birmingham, and here's a quick story about how the name does, and I guess the voice too does come across. I went to Dollywood for a vacation with my wife, and I had booked some tickets to her Dixie Stampede, and was going to pick them up at the will call there, or the ticket booth. And I'm standing in line on vacation in Pigeon Forge, and I'm talking with my wife, and I get up there and I tell them I had tickets in my name, and about 10 rows back in the line, somebody goes, "Hey, are you Tex Carter?"
Really?
And somebody recognized the voice.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So it does work, definitely.
And everybody comes up to you and say, "You're not what I pictured you to be," when they see you.
Yes,
person.
I'm definitely not 6'5" and
tall, dark, and handsome.
Don't wear a cowboy boots or a cowboy hat, but I am country. I'm definitely country.
Definitely country. And we're going to be back with more with the B92 Morning Show host, Tex Carter, after these words.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gradick, your host. We're very pleased to have in studio the morning show host for B92 Country. He's on B92 every morning. And his name is Tex Carter, and he's in studio. And, of course, we're streaming live on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page, and we'll share that to the B92 page, of course, and put it on YouTube. It's really kind of unusual for somebody at your young, you said ninth grade, to pick up on something and then spend your whole career doing it.
It really is. I agree.
And it's very rewarding, because then you quote unquote master, the profession, and you really get the full benefit of it. One thing that of the morning show hosts I've known, and this I'm going to throw a hard question at you.
Okay.
So you come in early, you're in a room that's soundproofed, or supposedly, and you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So how in the world, talking into a microphone, do you relate to your audience who you don't see?
Oh, I think that's tough. I
That's
agree
a hard
with
question.
you.
Yeah.
I think when going back to the younger guy who loved the radio and loved
Yeah.
the music, I'm not sure he could have done that.
Yeah.
Now, I started out doing overnights,
Right.
and if you had that air check tape from those early days, you wouldn't hire me.
Yeah. Sure.
I was horrible, but I had a desire to learn. I was a country hick. I was from a small country city just over the Alabama state line, and I was extremely country. My family talked like hicks, and I did. I had to learn to enunciate. But back to your question, I don't know. I think you just learn it. I think you just learn to be able to do it.
It becomes intuitive after a
to
while.
communicate.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I did, as I'll go back to saying pretty much the same thing I said earlier, I learned through listening to other people communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Oxford, Alabama.
Yeah.
I was on the south side. I lived on the south side of the Coldwater Mountain. There was a big station in Gadsden called Q104 that would actually skip over my house because I was on the south side.
It's shadowing.
So when I was getting up, like everybody gets up and gets ready for school or gets ready for work, when I was getting up and getting ready for school, I would tune to a local station for a second or two, but then I would flip to a Montgomery radio station, WLLY, WHHY, and listen to a guy named Larry Stevens, who was a great morning guy. He reminded me a lot of a guy that y'all know, Rhubarb Jones.
Yeah.
He reminded me a lot. He was just very good at communicating, and I tried to do things that he would do. Of course, I did it in Tex Carter fashion instead of Larry Stevens fashion. Learned from. I've been blessed to be around a lot of really good radio people.
I think I didn't mean to necessarily start off with a hard question, but you mentioned Rhubarb, and Rhubarb was the longest running country morning DJ in Atlanta.
Oh, he was fabulous.
And I think he would answer the question similar to what you did. There's just, you can't really put it in a finite answer, but it's something from it's more of a desire to bust through the, being in a room by yourself and the microphone, to really relate and to talk to and to have a connection with your audience.
Oh, I'll also say there are a lot more talented people than me, and I'm probably my toughest critic. But like Rhubarb, Larry Stevens was great. Mark Thompson I listened to. I don't know if you remember the Mark and Brian show. They went to L.A. They were from Birmingham.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
There are just so many great radio people that have been in this big circle between Atlanta and Birmingham and Huntsville. I've just had a lot of people to absorb from. So I think that's probably the reason that you can do what you do.
One of the classic questions, for probably the most typical question for a morning show host, is how do you get up and so early, and what's it like, and how do you maintain that schedule?
I will say this. I talk to Michael Vincent about this at least once a week. Mondays are tough because I get up at 3:30 every morning.
Oh, my word.
Central Time,
Yeah.
3:30 Central Time every morning. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I don't get up that early.
Yeah.
So Monday mornings are tough. I'm a little groggy on Mondays. I still get through it, and but then by Tuesday, I'm usually back to normal. And now I can get up at 3:30. Matter of fact, I probably don't even need an alarm. I have one, but I probably don't even need one, and I kind of like it. I enjoy. I've always been an early riser, but maybe not 3:30. But yeah, I think the other thing. I think the music and the audience who call in, because you do still have some regular callers who call in. I think the audience and the music keep you up too. So I think that's a lot of it.
What I was talking to our music consultant last evening, JJ, and he pointed out, and it really kind of struck me because I've been doing this now been down here or moved here from Rome for 38 years. We've got 6 radio stations now, which is a lot, and he made me to reflect, and I grew up in it. My uncle started in the radio in the 40s. Radio is only a little over 100 years old. And my parents met at a radio station in the late 40s, and I came along in the early 50s. But we don't, I guess we forget, or maybe we don't, how much radio has changed and continues to change. And so you get segments of radio people who don't want to change along with it. And the older you get, the less, desirous you are of, embracing new whatevers. So how did because you've been in it long enough, you've seen all these changes from the 60s and 70s to the 80s, and then, we used to play, I guess you used to play records and
yeah, definitely. Yes, the other thing that I thought about when I was thinking about this interview was the time that I did grow up in, because when I was growing up listening to radio like I did, we only had 3 television stations.
That's right.
And then PBS. You had 3 television stations and PBS, and that was it. And then you had local radio. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have CD players.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much media there. Now there's a whole bunch of media, yet I still see how huge radio continues to be.
Yes.
Just like last year when we had the hurricane issue here, and we did all the raising of goods to help the hurricane victims. It was amazing to see how the people came out, and they came out because they heard it on radio. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So radio is still, I think it may actually be bigger than it was, even though there's a lot more competition.
Well, it's because audio is so important, and of course, this is a news talk station, but B.92, of course, is country, and music is hopefully will always be with us. I can't imagine a life without music.
Oh, I can't either.
Yeah, but it's gone through a lot of changes, and most of them, I think, really are technical. The basically underlying premise is the same.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the cell phone generation, where people are addicted to cell phones, I mean, we're streaming all of our 6 stations to where you can listen to them on the cell phone. Some have said the cell phone is just nothing more than a transistor radio. So
yeah, the other technical issues that I see that really have changed through our careers, and I know you're bound to remember this too, was back when I was young in the profession, we would have to produce a commercial, and we would have to play the music and record the audio at the same time and be exactly 30 seconds. It would take me 30 minutes to do a 30-second commercial because I couldn't be perfect.
Right. And then the Ataris came along, and we had 8-track
that made it easier.
Yeah, and those were a lot of fun.
But now with digital,
yeah,
it's just simple.
It's just ridiculous. So we'll get Michael Vincent in here, and he can talk about all of the editing software that we use now, and basically everything is computer. I mean, all the commercials and the music and everything's on computer, and it's really. And
we
tough.
Also went from a time where announcers had to come in and pull all their music off the shelf and get it ready, and then after your hour was up, you had to replace it, and you had to pull all the commercials on carts and have them ready to play, to where now the announcer has a lot of extra time to think about what content they want to put on the air.
Yeah, and well, that's what they're supposed to be thinking about. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more after these words from our sponsors.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Welcome back. We've got B.92 WBTR morning show host Tex Carter in the studio. Now, how'd you get that voice? You got it. I'm Tex Carter.
I don't know, but I can tell you this.
You weren't a smoker, were you?
No, I was not.
Okay.
I never have been around that. But from the time I was a youngster, people would call my house and I'd answer the phone. They'd go, Lois. That was my dad's name. My dad's name was Lois. They would think I was my dad from the time I was young. I don't have the best voice in radio, but I do have a decent voice. I appreciate God providing me with that. I think God, had this in mind for me when I was born.
Well, you're not processed this morning because we're on the news talk station, but we run you through a processor, which kind of
that sounds much better.
Yeah, which kind of deepens it even further. You got to have that killer voice. But for those of us who don't, it's like, gee, how you pull that off? You've mentioned a couple of times, I get you're talking about growing up on the south side of Cheaha. I guess that's what, Clay County?
No, south side of Coldwater Mountain in Oxford.
Oh, okay. So
Oxford.
you were on the south side of Coldwater.
Yes.
In our beautiful East Alabama. What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
I grew up listening to Top 40.
Did you?
But now Top 40 back then, a lot of it, Marshall Tucker Band, the Eagles, a lot of that would be played on country today if they could find a place to be played at all.
Yeah.
Top 40 was, you'd hear everything from Journey to Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was sort of a conglomerate of music.
I assume you've met several stars over the years.
Oh my gosh, I could tell you story after story.
I'll give you one of my. Like the most?
I'll give you one of my comical stories.
Okay.
When I was in Huntsville, we were a St. Jude research hospital station, so we were gathering items to do an auction to raise money, and George Strait put out his box set.
Right.
And I got to go meet George and go backstage, and I went backstage with his box set. Came all the CDs, and it also had a pair of boxer shorts that had George Strait printed all over them. So the first time I actually met George Strait, I'm standing in line and I asked him to autograph some boxer shorts.
Some underwear. So
the ladies in line really wanted to take them from me.
Yeah. So he did. He was a good
He
sport.
did. Oh, he was a very.
I think he's number one country music artist, isn't he?
Definitely one of them if he's not.
I think he sold more.
Had another quick story.
Yeah.
Living in Huntsville also, Reba McEntire used to start her tour in Huntsville.
Yeah.
She would come and rent the Civic Center there for a week to practice all week long, and then she would start her tour in Huntsville. Got to go there and meet her backstage, and my now 35-year-old son was like 6, and we took him with us to the show. And he was bashful. We were backstage. He was bashful, went over and stood in the corner, wouldn't even get near her. So we were trying to get a picture of him with Reba. So we have this picture where he's standing over in the corner. Reba goes over and kneels down by him like this so that she can get a picture made.
Yeah.
And she tells she was married to Narvel Blackstock at that time, and she says, Narvel, take the picture.
Yeah, yeah. So all the ones I ever met were all very cordial, very nice, very friendly.
Most were.
I think there was one who shall remain nameless that was like,
There were some egos.
Yeah.
I can tell you some egos. I'm not going to, but I can tell you. Some of the biggest, though, are some of the most humble.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson, I've met him 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Every time I've met him, he's thanked me for playing his music.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I was at the CMA Awards many years ago before he hit it big at Arista Records, and I didn't get to speak to him, but yeah, he had humble beginnings and superstardom.
When we were doing the St. Jude Research Hospital fundraising in Huntsville, of course, Randy Owen's big into that.
Oh, yeah.
Randy was out on a tour bus, him and a bunch of guys doing a writing session on a tour bus, called in and helped us promote the Radiothon to raise money for it. They just do all kind of things, and most of them are really good people. Most of them are just down-to-earth, really good people.
Mm-hmm. Even the new crop.
I haven't met as many of those as I had the older. But
even the new crop, as they get older and they get more established, you can tell they kind of more and more buying into the heritage and the history of country music in America. So, dangerous question. What would you tell a young person that wants to put down the cell phone and come get behind the microphone and get in radio?
I would give them the same advice I received. Find anywhere you can to do radio live. Mm-hmm. If it's at a college radio station, if it was coming here to see Steve Graddick to try to find some time on one of your 6 radio stations, I would tell them to find anywhere they can play anything. In college, I played jazz for a long time. I didn't necessarily love the music or know anything about it, but it was a way for me to get on the air and get behind the mic and get some experience. Because in anything in life, you just need experience. I mean, if I was going to try to fix your car, but I don't know anything about looking under the hood, I need to start doing that.
We've lost sight of it. I think a good word is apprenticeship.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
Yeah, but oftentimes that's the best way to learn, and not in a classroom, but actually by doing.
I've done my best through the years of trying to mentor some young people.
Yeah, and that's important. And the older we get, the more I think we appreciate that opportunity. I've got a young gentleman I'm supposed to speak to this Friday, and we'll see how that goes. You don't necessarily, there are, we mentioned rhubarb, but you really have to love this, because you're not going to most of us are not going to get rich and famous out of it.
Definitely not.
Rhubarb, did, but...
in our younger days, we did it for as many 45s as we could get.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not an avenue you're doing it for fame and fortune. Although that has been bestowed upon a handful of people,
Oh, I've been around some people who have made it big and made good money.
Yeah, real big money. It's kind of like most of the entertainment. You got a side gig as a waiter, and you're trying to become a famous actor, and similarly, we're kind of in the same boat. But
I would have done a lot better financially had I followed my teacher in high school who wanted me to be an accountant, or my mom and dad who wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. But I love my life.
But you started out by speaking about how we help small businesses grow, and they are truly the backbone of America and the free enterprise system, and that's as satisfying as giving a birthday cake to a third generational family that's been listening for all these generations. So
I have, as humble as I am and as small a person as I really am, I have connections with big people because of radio.
Our guest this morning has been Tex Carter, morning show host of B.92 Country. We invite you to tune in every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10, and hear Tex on one of the finest radio stations in all of America, on the whole world, and you can listen anywhere in the world through our stream. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.